Ambassador Baswati Mukherjee, I want to quickly bring you back into the conversation, ma'am. So the strongest legal lever, ma'am, that the US is using is the denial of Maduro's legitimacy. They claim that head of state immunity is a privilege that is granted by one sovereign state to another, but because the US, along with several other nations, never officially declared Maduro's 2024 re-election as something that was correct. Rather, they declared it as fraudulent, and they do not recognize him as the lawful president of Venezuela. The executive branch of the US is now arguing that he is actually not entitled to personal immunity, that is a recognized right that a head of state would otherwise receive. And now Marco Rubio coming out and saying that Maduro's capture was a law enforcement action and not an act of war. What sort of a precedent is the United States of America setting here? I know you've spoken about this briefly earlier, but the clarifications that are coming in from the United States of America, how can this be misused in the decades to come?
No, it can't be misused because it's not correct. The point here is that if the United States did not recognize the regime, did they break diplomatic relations? Did they announce that they don't recognize Maduro as the president of Venezuela? Why was Trump and Maduro speaking on the telephone? They spoke on the telephone at least 3 times, where Maduro at the last call apparently was virtually begging Trump to give him a way out so that maybe he could step down, go to a third country for exile, etc. Why was he doing that? If Trump was telephoning Maduro, it means he was telephoning president to president. He never said after each phone call transcript that I was speaking to an imposter who is claiming to be president of Venezuela. So it doesn't work. When you kidnap or abduct or take against the wishes of the people of that country, the head of state of that country, it is an act of war. There's no doubt about it. The reason why they don't want to make it an act of war is because there are warlike noises coming from several leftist regimes in that area, which could threaten American interests in that area, which, as rightly pointed out by my co-panelist, the whole objective was the Monroe Doctrine and the restatement of American influence over Latin America, which had increasingly gone over to China. So this was an effort to boot out the Chinese and take over the whole of Latin America. But if it did not succeed with the tiny, gutsy little island country of Cuba so many decades ago, it can hardly succeed in a country. I don't know if you visited Venezuela. It's a fairly large country and it's a very nationalist country, like all Latin American countries that I've been to, each and every one of them. They are highly nationalist, and like India, they are very suspicious of foreign intervention. It's in their DNA. Like in Asia, all regions of the world that have been colonized or exploited have it in their DNA. You can't stop it. So I don't see how they can say it is not an act of war. I don't see how they can present Maduro as a common Venezuelan warlord, criminal being tried in the United States. If they do that, then you would have to say that he is not getting a fair trial according to American law. And moreover, I would like to know what the American US Congress is going to say when they are convened. Because why are they saying it's not an act of war? Because an act of war can only be authorized by the American US Congress. President of United States cannot unilaterally declare war without authorization of the Congress, of the House of Representatives and the House of Congress, which was not done. That's why they are saying it's not an act of war. Because if it's an act of war, then it was an illegal act by President Trump and his coterie. That's why he said it. Because I agree with my co-panelist that it was also an effort for domestic diversion, the damage being done by the Epstein files, etc. But I really don't know whether he will succeed because the U.S. Congress will call it an act of war. It is an act of war. You can't have conversations with a man as a president to president and then bring him to your country and say he's a common criminal. He is not entitled to any privileges. It's not an act of war. It is actually just a law enforcement operation. We went into another country without any approval, without any visa. We attacked his bedroom. We killed 800 people. They actually killed 800 people. Some Cubans, which is interesting. That means the Cubans were also in his bodyguard, and they abducted him and brought him to United States. And the US Congress is definitely going to call it an act of war.
Right.
And I don't think every Republican is going to say that it's not an act of war. Many Republicans who are not in the MAGA group will also say it's an act of war. In which case, his only chance is to argue it's not an act of war, Devika.
Right, absolutely. On that note, I thank both of our guests for joining us to